YouTube. I'm not good at editing these videos, so it comes pretty raw. This is a 2005 Toyota Sequoia. Four-wheel drive and all that. So I just got this thing. It's fucking actually crazy clean. And I only paid $4,000 for it. It does have 247,000 miles, but it purrs like a kitten. Oil is golden brown. I've looked and looked, and you ain't finding them. This was a good deal. I'm happy with it. Even though I get the damn fuel tank out. We're replacing the fuel pump. Check engine light was on. The codes were P0171 and 1074, I believe, or 0174. Bank 1, Bank 2, lean, system lean. Those were the only codes. The truck seemed to just run fine. When I bought this in Virginia, I drove it back home to Ohio, 500 miles. It did good. It would not stutter or anything, but I could feel a lack of power going up the hills. There was one point when I shut it off to go into the store and I came back out. When I started it, it stuttered a little bit. And then it threw some misfire codes, but that was just the one-time thing. Anyways, I was on the diagnostics mission for the past 3 days now. Started with the mass airflow sensor. I unplugged it, installed the engine out. I assumed it was fine. I checked for vacuum leaks to see if there was any extra air getting into the system from here to the intake. Everything was fine, no cracks in any of the boots. All the connectors were good and everything. Somebody said something about fuel pressure regulator valve. I didn't mess with that. That cost $105 at O'Reilly's. I didn't change it. There's another video where I seen a guy said he swapped out the fuel dampener valve or whatever. I was gonna do that, but O'Reilly's didn't. They gave me the fuel regulator valve, not the dampener, so I passed on that. But I found a video of a guy testing the fuel pressure. And for O'Reilly's, you get the kit and one of the adapter pieces, one of the brass pieces. You take out the dampener, and then you put the piece through the fuel line, and you put out the pressure. These should have, I believe, between 35 psi and 45 psi. Mine was only putting out 20 psi. So I'm confident enough to say that it is the fuel pump. Fairly easy job. You just got your straps that go across. Disconnect this little breather tube. Easy peasy. The fuel lines are tricky. You push the blue in and you slide the clip over. Once you get the clip slid over, you push the blue again and you pull it off. Tricky, but you got it. Pro tip. I didn't even think about it. It just so happened that my tank is like below a quarter tank, so it keeps it on the lighter side. But yeah, I was racking my brain over this code, and I didn't want to do it. But those were the only two codes: Bank 1, Bank 2, lean. Pretty positive it's the fuel pump. Like I said, it was putting out 20 psi. Take out the fuel pump relay, just to it goes in between these ones right there. Take out the fuel pump relay, and then you crank it. Get some of the pressure off the lines. It will not start. It just that release some of the pressure. Amazon's got the fuel pump for $55. O'Reilly's got it for, I believe, $300. That's where we're at. I'm hoping to make more videos of this Toyota Sequoia, guys. I'm in Ohio in the Rust Belt. I drove 7 hours. Well, actually, I flew to Virginia and drove this back 7 hours, 500 miles. but I will get under here and just give a peek at the frame and everything, because last year I actually drove to Virginia also to get the same vehicle, and it was you know, surface rust right on the back, right up in there on that part of the frame. When I got there was a rust hole. So it was a 6-hour, 7-hour drive just to say, no, I can't do this, but it's solid, bro. Like I said, it's for 4,000. I've been searching the interwebs, and you just don't find them this clean anywhere around here for this price. I almost drove to, and I think I could still get these exhaust bolts off. That's how clean this thing is. That's about as much rust as there is. Yeah, I almost drove to Arizona to buy one with 295,000 miles, rust free. This vacuum hose was cracked and off of the 4-wheel drive actuator. I've seen that in other videos because I almost bought one with an issue with it. But I also kind of thought that could possibly have something to do with my vacuum leak, you know, the air being too much air in the system, but she's solid, man. She's solid. You see a lot with rust right there. Solid. Cross member solid. Hardly any oil. At least the leather's a little cracked up. Sunroof works. The UD player says disc error. That's kind of a bummer. This guy cared enough to reupholster the driver's seat, reupholster the steering wheel. All the electronics work. The more I talk about it, the more I fall in love with it. She's a babe. We got a Beamer that's down right now, 550i. If anybody knows anything about the E60 550i with active steering and all that, I think that thing purrs like a kitten too. I got that for $1,200. $1,200, and was driving it the same day. Pretty much exactly the way it sits. I bought that for $1,200 because it had an overheating issue. And it ended up being the fan. The fuse for the fan was blown and the radiator was packed full of debris. Cleaned that out. I really could have swapped the fuse, but I ended up doing a whole fan before I realized it was the fuse. And it would have been good to go. It's been good ever since. I placed a clutch in it. A bunch of other work, you know, tune up and all that. But right now it's got a stability control and all that fucked up. And if anybody knows anything about that, comment. It would be much appreciated. But yeah, back to the Sequoia. She's a babe. Fuel pump will be here tomorrow. Here's the test kit. You get that. $150 to rent. You take it back. They give you your money back. So it was just right on that piece I showed you. I believe this is the same size. So where the holes that goes down into where the dampener goes. Okay, so you just take that dampener out and you screw this into where it's at, and then you put the pressure tester on top, the gauge, crank it, and it'll show you pressure. I've seen other ones where it's like you turn the key over to like just auxiliary where the lights come on and it dings, and it should prime up the pump. It should put pressure to the fuel pump. Mine wasn't even putting pressure to the fuel pump at that point. So I cranked it and it, you know, started, and it was only sitting at 19 PSI. I'd have to say that's a go. Who knows, there might be a video of these timing belts getting changed. I really am off work and I really should probably take the time to do it now, but it's not, you know, a necessity. I had it done at 98,000. You can't really see it. It was on Carfax. You know, that's gonna be extensive because all this has to come off. at least the radiator and a fan probably. Bunch of pulleys and water pumps. I mean, that one's extensive. I've done water pumps. I've never done timing chains. The closest I got to that timing chain was on my little Toyota 4-wheeler. Just did that recently. It was easy, but 2005 Toyota Sequoia P0171 P0174. Bad fuel pressure, you know, or at least lean mixture, too much air in the system, not enough fuel. These don't have a 05 and up do not have a fuel filter on the fuel rail. That was gonna be my first step. I got it in the truck. It's in the fuel pump, I guess. Thanks for watching or listening.